Hi traders, Niall here at learntotradethemarket.com. Welcome to today's Forex training video. Quality training video on its way to you. Today we're talking about the GBP JPY on a 4-hour time frame. Now some quick points I'd like to bring to your attention. We're only using the price action here. There's only horizontal lines on the chart and the candlesticks. We're not using indicators, magical systems or any hype like that. We're using the plain vanilla price action that's occurred on the chart on every 4-hour interval. That's the 4-hour candlestick chart. Okay, let's get into it and analyze the trade. You'll note a very similar pattern here to the last video I put out on the sterling US. This is the sterling yen here. Again, the 4-hour time frame. It's an intraday trading tool. We'll have a look at the levels first off, and I'll just mark the first one up here at 148. You notice the market broke through that level. What I do is then I mark all the hook points, all the swing points. Anytime a market forms an immediate low and then retraces a little bit and then breaks that previous point, I'll call that a swing point or a hook point. You'll notice here the market actually found a low, bounced, and then broke through it again. And then here we found a low, bounced, and then broke through it again. So it's like a 1, 2, 3 stepping formation, very easy to identify, trend development. And then what I do is I mark the levels. So I put my level through the point that it broke below in the case of a downtrend, and you'll notice this area right here aligns with this area here and here. So if I can mark those swing points and horizontal levels as much as possible, I can then often find the confluent points where the price action signals align, and I went over that in that previous video with the sterling US. You can go check that out. But the beautiful thing is with the sterling yen is that you can get really good intraday trading opportunities. I prefer this chart especially for intraday trading, although I'm not a big fan of over trading. When I do see these setups like this one form, I'm all over it. So let's zoom in and actually have a look at the trade. Quickly zoom in, and you'll notice we've got all these rejections. Now we've marked that level. This is that level that came through. Let's mark it again at 144.40 thereabouts, and you'll notice very similar to the previous video. Again, I'm trying to keep things consistent so you can understand these pin bar reversals, really hot signals for price rejection. Now we've got 4 in a row here. There's several opportunities to have entered. I guess you could have entered somewhere around here, probably in here as well, another one here, and another one here. So let's assume you took every one. I mean, obviously it's illogical to have taken every one. It wouldn't really work like that. But let's say you took every pin bar that was in the direction of the trend here, that was under the key level, formed at that key level. They all would have worked out except this one right here where the market broke back above. So in the case that you missed all of them and only took this one, you probably would have lost money. But had you have jumped in on the first signal, you would have made money. The second signal here would have made money, and this one here, which is the fourth signal, you would have made money. So I guess it's a luck of the draw when you see the signal, but ideally you'd trade the first and second signals. So somewhere in here is where most traders would have been shorting. And if we zoom out again, you'll notice very obvious price rejection which occurred very close to that previous swing point. So there's that swing point there, and again there's that first signal. Here's those second signals, and as I said, this one probably would have been a scratch trade, and this one here a nice winner. So let's just recap. We've got that downtrend momentum going. We've got the horizontal level, which I've shown you how I identify, marking those hook points, and then we draw the line across, and you can see the confluent price action signals. Now this is where everything aligns and comes together, and I call that the hot point. The previous video I went over this. When that market meets at one common point, you've got everything in your favor, very high probability kind of setup. I'm all over it, and I'll enter with a nice tight stop, and in all 3 of these potential entries that would have paid off, you could have a very tight stop and a giant risk reward. And the case of the most recent example, if you got on board that one, it would have been a nice 3 or 4 to 1 risk reward. Now obviously you're not going to be trading every signal. You're going to miss some, you're going to lose on some, you're going to win big time on some of them, and hopefully when you win those profits are going to outweigh those losses. A very cliche term is to let your profits be bigger than your losses. That's common sense. But with price action trading, I believe it's actually achievable if you start to keep things consistent. As I say in one of my articles on the site, if you learn to master one trading setup and then become an expert at that setup alone and then move to another. So I think where traders run into trouble is they look for heaps and heaps of different systems and signals and strategies and so forth. What I would suggest doing if you're a new trader or you're struggling is just go back to basics. Learn one setup, master it, become an expert at it, and of course get a mentor such as myself, or at least find something that you enjoy, a strategy that you can relate to and that isn't too hard to understand. I personally feel that most traders struggle because they overtrade, they use indicators, they have messy charts, and they don't keep things simple like I've just explained in this chart. And I think simple is when you have a clean chart to begin with and then you start to draw your lines and find your signals, and that is the simplest form of trading, is price action trading. Now, if you haven't done so yet, check out the website www.learntotradethemarket.com. Check out the Forex course tab to learn more about the training and forum that we offer here at Learn to Trade the Market. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Have a great, safe weekend. Talk to you in the next video. Take care.